Welcome to my reflection on the landmark case of Christian Cadajas y Cabias versus People of the Philippines. So, this case delves into the critical issues of child protection, cybercrime, and the legal consequences of engaging in explicit activities with minors. So, this reflection entitled A Case Study in Cybercrime, where Christian Cadajas versus People of the Philippines. So again, involves the legal implications and lessons I learned in this case. First is, what is the case all about? So this case revolves around Christian Cadajas y Cabias, who was charged with child pornography under Section 4C2 of Republic Act number 10175, also known as the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, in relation in sections 4A, 3B, and C5 of Republic Act number 9775, the Anti-Child Pornography Act of 2009. He was also charged with violation section 10A of Republic Act number 7610, the Special Protection of uh, uh, Child Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. So the charges stem from his relationship with a minor, referred to as AAA, and his actions of inducing her to send explicit photos. So, what are the facts of the case? Uh, in this case, first we have the initiation of relationship. So, Christian Cadajas, who was 24 years old at that time, met AAA, who was 14 years old, at the canteen where Cadajas worked. They got into a relationship after AAA's sibling told Cadajas that AAA had a crush on him. They communicated through Facebook Messenger messages, and eventually Cadajas courted AAA for 2 weeks before they became sweethearts on April 2, 2016. Next is the parental disapproval. So in June 2016, AAA's mother, referred as BBB, found out about their relationship from AAA's Facebook account. So BBB, or AAA's mother, disapproved of the relationship because AAA was too young, but the couple disregarded her warning. Next is the sexual inducement in October 2016. So, BBB, the mother, discovered messages that Cadajas was luring AAA to meet him at a motel. At around 5:30 in the morning of November 18, 2016, BBB learned that Cadajas was persuading AAA, her daughter, to send him pictures of her vagina and breasts, which AAA finally or eventually did. So, the mother confronted Cadajas and made uh, her daughter open his Facebook Messenger account to obtain a copy of their conversation. Next is the petitioner's admission. So, Cadajas or Cadajas admitted to sending AAA the messages. The, the message is, oo, ready ako sa ganyan, and sige, hubad. So, he denied, however, sending pictures of his private part. On November 17, 2016, AAA requested that Cadajas delete their messages from his account. So he said to her, bakit kasi hindi ka pa nagtitino? Hayan tuloy nakita ng mama mo. On the same day, Cadajas ended his relationship with AAA because her mother disliked him. So in these facts of the case, I also include the criminal charges. So Cadajas later learned from his co-workers that 2 criminal cases were filed against him. He was charged with violation of Section 10A of RA number 7610 and child pornography under Section 4C2 of RA number 10175, and these 2 pieces of information filed against him on December 27, 2016. So it is follows criminal case number 215-P-V-17 and criminal case number 216-V-17. Next is the trial and sentencing. So the RTC acquitted Cadajas of the violation of Section 10A of RA 107610 but found him guilty of child pornography. He was sentenced to reclusion temporarily and 1 million peso fine. And the RTC held that Cadajas knew AAA was a minor and induced her to send explicit photos constituting child pornography. So we also have the appeal. On appeal, the Court of Appeal or the CA upheld the RTC's ruling amending the penalty to imprisonment for 14 years, 8 months and 1 day as minimum, to 18 years and 3 months as maximum, but still the fine was retained. So, for motion for reconsideration, Christian Cadajas y Cabias motion for reconsideration was rejected by the Court of Appeals or the CA on May 9, 2019. So Cadajas then made a petition before the Supreme Court. So the issues raised in the case were whether the Court of Appeals or the CA gravely erred in not finding the evidence presented by the prosecution was inadmissible for violating petitioner's right to privacy, and also whether the CA gravely erred in convincing petitioner in violation of Section 4C2 of RA number 10175 in relation to sections 4A, 3B, and C5 of RA number 9775, despite the fact that the alleged act complained of does not constitute an offense penalized under the said law. Next is whether the CA also gravely erred in the interpretation of the unlawful and punishable acts, section 4C2 of RA 10175 in relation to section 4A, 3B, and C5 of RA number 9775. And lastly, whether the CA again gravely erred in convincing petitioner of violation of 4C2 of RA number 10175 in relation to section again 4A, 3B, and C5 of RA number 9775, despite the failure of prosecution to prove his guilt beyond reasonable doubt. So, what is the ruling of the Supreme Court? For the ruling, the Supreme Court affirmed the conviction of Christian Cadajas y Cabias for the crime of child pornography under Section 4C2 of Republic Act Number 10175 in relation to Sections 4A, 3B, and C5 of Republic Act Number 9775. So the act, all of this act, so the court upheld the Court of Appeals ruling which modified the penalty to imprisonment for, again, as I mentioned in the facts that we have, 14 years, 8 months and 1 day as a minimum to 18 years and 3 months as maximum, while retaining the fine of 1 million pesos. So, for this ruling, the court found that the evidence from Cadajas' Facebook Messenger account did not violate his right to privacy, and as it was obtained by AAA and a private individual and not by state. So the evidence was properly authenticated in court, and Cadajas waived his right to object by not raising the issue during the RTC proceedings. And also, the prosecution proved beyond reasonable doubt that Cadajas induced AAA, a minor, to send explicit photos, and the acts committed by Cadajas um, constitute child pornography under the relevant uh, laws. So, what are my takeaways or learning from this case? First is we have the legal consequences of child pornography. So, this case highlights, for me, this case highlighted the severe legal repercussions of engaging in child pornography. So, it underscores the strict enforcement of laws designed to protect minors from exploitation and abuse, emphasizing gravity of such offenses. And we also have the right to privacy. So, I also learned about the limitations of the right to privacy, especially when it comes to evidence obtained by private individual. So, the case illustrates that the right to privacy is intended to protect individuals against government restrictions, not action by private individuals. For an admissibility of evidence, so the importance of properly authenticating evidence in court is my key takeaway from this case, because this demonstrates that evidence must be properly presented and authenticated to be admissible in legal proceedings. Next, I have the proof beyond reasonable doubt. So the necessity for the prosecution to prove guilt beyond reasonable doubt is clearly demonstrated in this case, because this reinforces the principle that the burden of proof lies with the prosecution, and they must present the right evidence to secure a conviction. I also have the interpretation of the law. Of course, this case provides valuable insight into the interpretation of laws relating to child pornography and cybercrime. So, it shows how the courts apply and interpret these laws to ensure justice, and and it was served right and properly. And lastly, of course, the parental vigilance. The case also highlights the importance of parental vigilance in monitoring their children's online interactions, or any even if it's not online, or any interactions that the children must have. So it serves as a reminder that parents play a crucial role in protecting their children from potential danger in the digital world. So overall, this case has deepened my understanding for legal framework surrounding child protection and the critical role of evidence and privacy in legal proceedings. It also emphasizes the importance of vigilance and responsibility in safeguarding the well-being of minors or any person. So, again, as Nelson Mandela once said, there can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. So, this quote resonates deeply with the essence of this case, and the importance of protecting our youth. So, again, thank you for joining me in this reflection on the Christian Cadajas case. So, let us remain vigilant in protecting our youth and upholding the principles of justice. So, remember, the way we treat our children or any person reveals the soul of our society. So, again, that's all for today. Thank you for watching.